Hello, this is Tazlon. I'm in Sand River Assault Offense in my VK2801 Cougar for a Lighthouse tutorial on scout rolls, this one being the delayed rush. Unlike a suicide rush, where a scout immediately sprints off toward the enemy as soon as the countdown timer hits 0, a delayed rush is exactly what it says. You delay your rush until later in the game and hopefully are able to achieve much more beneficial results than dying within the first 30 seconds of the battle. In the video, I'm going to also talk about quick counts. It's a nice little situational awareness technique you can use to help determine when the odds have turned in your favor and made a delayed rush a higher chance of success. And in a quick count, all you're doing is watching the mini-map, counting the locations of the tanks you know, and when you reach a point where you know where all but 2 or 3 of them are, and you have an open route to the enemy, the odds are in your favor that you're going to make it through behind enemy lines unscathed, or with the enemy not being able to stop you until you get back there, and then you start wreaking whatever havoc you can upon them. It just is going to change from fight to fight based on the situation. You may go arty hunting, you may just start flanking or search and destroy or whatever. You're going to transition into another role. The delayed rush is the technique you use to get back there so that you can start pulling your mischief. So what we're going to look at here, let's see, we have 3 artillery per side, 1 scout, a lot of heavies. Importantly for me are those 2 big TDs. They're my primary threat because they can each take me out extremely fast. I want to know where they are if at all possible, because their location is going to greatly influence what I do during this battle. Every other tank on the battlefield, unless I take a direct hit from Arty, I can survive a shot from. Those 2 tanks can wipe me out in 1 round, so I have to be aware of where they're at. So I'm going to start off normal Sand River Assault offense and make a half-court sweep of the middle ridge here. And the initial half-court sweep really doesn't allow my team to do much other than see what tanks are deploying where, which can be a great advantage. But it's not designed to create damage opportunities, it's designed to gain intel. How many of the enemy can I see and figure out which way they're headed? And I just come down here and swing back around toward the middle. Got a decent number of lights there. And I pull, I start to slow down and see an artillery I'm not seeing, so I gotta snipe this guy. This is an easy kill. Kabam, 1 artillery down. Now I'm going to pull over into a couple positions where I spot from and snipe from, and I'm going to start watching my mini-map and seeing how many enemy tanks I can find. There's only 2 artillery left. I kind of know where they're at. They are going to be back in here somewhere. Not certain exactly where, but I know kind of where they're at. So I count them as 2 right away. There's 3 tanks over there on the left side up around the choke point at the corner there. And there's been 3 tanks over on the east side. So I know where 6, 7, 8, 1 dead tank, 9. I know where 9 out of 15 are. Still 6 unknown. And importantly, 2 of the big tanks I want to have a handle on. The 2 big TDs I'm not certain exactly where they ended up deploying at. I can't delay rush right now because those guys are forward enough to where if I try to sneak through that approach, they're going to light me up, so I'm not really going to surprise anybody by getting through there. I see the 1 TD off like J9, J0. I know where 1 is. The T-37's over on that side as well. That's cool. The other fast tank, and the fight's way far away from where I'm planning to go. Because if I get to make a break for it, I'm coming through this channel and heading back here to see if I can find artillery. Okay, there's 2 TDs down there. And they're the 2 where I want to know where they're at. The 2 big TDs are on the eastern side of the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right now, between the tanks I've seen and the tanks I currently see, I know the general location of 14 out of the 15 tanks that were in the fight. So, I'm seeing if I can find anybody here and get some sniping opportunities. They're all hidden. I'm going to turn around. Our medium has the heavies that just showed up again, kind of backed into a corner over there. So the situation is ripe. The time is ripe for me to make a break for it. See if I can get back to the artillery. There's nobody in the middle here that's going to be able to stop me. Now the heavies over here to my right may get a glimpse of me as I go by. I'm going to try to bend back to the left and keep them out of sight. But they'll probably see me as I go up over the dooms. But they aren't going to be able to get a shot at me, and it's going to be too late for anybody to react, with the possible exception of the artillery. See, I got spotted just for a second by one of them. I want to keep time on my side, so I use my repair kit. I don't want to sit there and wait. I want to keep rushing, get back here, and see if I can take out the artillery before anybody reacts. As I come over the hill, the first guy fires. Second guy's pointed at me, so he's my priority. I have to take out the biggest threat first. And now I have the luxury of just toying with this guy. I can take my time. Don't quite kill him. I'm going to ram him so I can move on. We have a 3-on-2 back behind me, so I'm going to come back here and try to help out. But you can see by me using the mini-map, watching where the enemy tanks are, especially watching where those 2 big 2Ds are, I was able to identify a situation to where I had an easy delayed rush, where I had almost 0 chance of having anybody in the way to stop me. You don't think about it. You have it in the back of my mind. If I reach the point where I only know where 2 or 3 tanks is, I'm out of here. And so as soon as I realized that was the case, no more sniping opportunities, I'm going to make a dash for it. And I ended up getting 3 kills from it right now. Now it's still a halfway close fight. It's 11-9. We certainly haven't sewn the thing up yet. But the fight is definitely ours to lose right now. You don't always have to be wanting to do a delayed rush to do quick counts. It's good just to practice doing them, even if you have every intention of staying right where you're at in passive spotting. Practice doing them, so when you have a situation where you want to use it for a delayed rush, you know exactly what you're doing and you're used to doing it. Like I said, one of the keys is if you have artillery in the game, unless it's a 304 or something that runs around the map like crazy, you pretty much know where they're set up on every map, so you can count them as known even if you haven't seen them. Dead tanks are known, and you just eliminate it down until, wow, I know where all but 2 or 3 tanks are, and there's a path that I'm pretty certain is open. I'm going for it. Now Centurion I'm going to leave alone. I have my heavy coming in on him. I'm going to try to come down here and light up their TDs for our artillery. They both have turrets. It's not like I'm going to go rushing in straight at them because I won't survive. But, yep, there they are. I'm going to get a glimpse of them, light them up. Hopefully we rain a little fire down on their heads. I get popped. I'm going to shoot the T-28 and get out of sight. There goes the RHM. Now give it a second, turn around. No, I'm going to come around the end here, and he's gone. Artillery took them both out. Perfect ending. So we end up with a decent win, 15-10. At the time I made the rush, it was a tied battle. It wasn't like I waited till the battle was over and then made the rush. I did it while it still could impact the fight. Now, there's a lot of situations that are out of your control in a battle as to when is the prime opportunity to make your dash. And you just have to go with what you see. Don't be so stubborn and set in your ways that you go into the battle saying, okay, I at some point am going to delay rush and go kill their artillery, and you start ticking down the minutes and you still only know where 8 tanks are, and you still only know where 8 tanks are, and you don't know where those 2 TDs are. I guarantee you if you go, they're going to be right behind a dune waiting for you, because that's just the way it works out. If you don't have the intel you need to make the dash, and the situation in the battle doesn't warrant that you do something extreme to try to pull the enemy's attention onto you and off someplace maybe where you're losing in the fight, be patient. Rushing in against an unknown situation is almost as bad as suicide rushing at the beginning, because if you don't know where those tanks are, there's a high degree of likelihood that there's several in the way of where you're going. Take your time, use your quick counts. Once you have it down to where the enemy opposition is going to be manageable, then make your break for it if you have what you think is a clear path. And then as you progress, you determine what you're going to branch out and do next based on what's going on in the battle as you rush and what you come up against. In this case, I knew I was going to get through to the arty. I would have bet my paycheck that I would have gotten through to the arty without getting fired upon, because I knew where all the tanks were except one. And as I came over the dunes, the one arty fired, so he's immediately at the back of my threat list. He has to take a while to reload. The other arty's pointed right at me. Haven't seen him fire. He could shoot at me the next second. He's the guy I'm going to try to take out first. My shot hit and killed him, and that gave me the luxury of just taking my time with the second guy, because I knew he couldn't possibly be loaded again. I could just slow down and stop. Nobody there to snipe me, make sure I get a good hit. Didn't quite kill him, so I just rammed him and finished him off, and then went and helped out my team for the rest of the battle. 2 TDs at the end. If I rush them, I die. They both have turrets. There's no way I'm evading both their turrets by running circles in between them, because it's just not going to happen. So I kept my distance. I lit them up. Kabam, kabam, already on their head. They're dead. We win. Time to go home and celebrate a victory. Play smart. No reason being the hero when it's not going to work at the end. It would have been cool to go running in there with my gun firing and taking out both TDs. It just wasn't going to happen. So why try? I ended up with 2,208 experience, 8 spots, needed 1 more for a scout, 2,672 spotting damage, 4 kills, and 1,620 damage. I got a Pascucci and a Kamikaze medal. And it's all because while I was spotting up along the hill and sniping up along the hill, I was watching my mini-map, I was counting enemy tanks, and when I got down to where I knew where all but, in this case, all but one was, because a couple of them appeared at the same time, I knew I had a clear path through. It's not something that you want to hesitate and go, well, should I do it or not? Be ready to do it. Look at your map, know where the tanks that you can see are, and say, hey, this is the path I can take based on what I see, unless I see new tanks that would make that a no-go. Here's where I'm going. And so the moment you get down to that magic number, bam, you put it in gear and off you go, because you already have a plan ready. From Sand River, assault, offense, pulling off a delayed rush, turning it into arty hunting, and a victory. Happy hunting.